Hi, I am Irina Webster. I am your host at Inspiring Author TV. And today I have a wonderful guest here. Her name is Leila Marion.
Yes.
Welcome,
Yeah, thank
Leila.
you.
Leila has written a book, Corridors, a Verse Memoir.
First memoir, yeah.
First memoir? Yes. So Leila, please tell me about your book and why have you written it?
Well, it started, Corridors, the name, started off as a poem that I wrote some 25 years ago. And since then I've been trying it out in different forms, different first person or third person. And then I had a mentor who read some of my poetry. And she said, why are you bothering to write in prose when you really are a poet? So it made me think, well, I can write a long poem, I thought, a really long poem, about the different paths in my life, the different corridors that I've been down. Mm-hmm. And so that's how it was reborn as a verse memoir.
Right, so it is more like autobiography.
Well, it is.
Captured in poems.
Yes, and it's a book about childhood during the war in England, and how it affected young children in England to be evacuated away from their homes. And my sister and myself were evacuated to the north of England to a coal miner's house and family. And it was very, very, very different from how we'd lived in Brighton, sort of lovely seaside town.
It's very traumatic experiences you described in your poems. Maybe you can read some important parts from your description of how a young child felt during this evacuation.
Yes, I could do that. The nanny I had this nanny who was like a mother to me, and I'm just trying to find the right page actually.
I think it was page 12.
12, yes, here it is. So the nanny saw us off, and we didn't know where we were going. It was called the evacuation Pied Piper, which of course brings up thoughts about lots of children being led away. I'll read just a couple of stanzas from here. Nanny wept to see us sent away to the north as evacuation Pied Piper took place, and we young ones were taken away from our mothers for our own good, as the authorities said. We stood on the drafty platform, our gas masks in cardboard boxes hanging from our necks, de rigueur for the time, and with the aid of a large safety pin, labels were attached to our coats with our names in black ink. I remember them there. There in a cloud of steam from the engine stood Nanny. After the slamming of doors, whistles blew and we started to move. I sought Nanny in the crowd, a grey figure in her grey uniform and little hat to match. Her eyes were wet as they met mine, and her dejected smile went straight to my heart, and I knew with a great pang in my chest what it was like to lose a loved one. And that's how we said goodbye to her.
So it's your memories?
Yes, it's all my memories.
Yeah. So what inspired you to write your memories and put them into poems?
Well, I've always written I started to write before most young children do, I think, and I've written all my life, and I'm getting on in years, as we all know from this, and I just wanted to put it all together and make it something to remember, not just for my own children or anything, but it's poetry. And I've written lots of poetry.
But this is your first book?
This is my first book, yes. So now I have to think about getting all my poems together, and that's my next thing to do, I think. And then I probably will write a sequel to this, because this only goes up to when I was 19 and left England to come to Australia. So people might want to know what happened to the rest of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts from the age of 5?
Yes.
5? To the age of 19?
No, from my birth, actually.
From your birth?
It talks about my birth.
So you describe the story.
Yes, right up to when I was 19 and got on the big ship to Australia and a new life, which has been good.
So you started from the birth and finished by the age 19 when you were on the ship to Australia.
On the ship to Australia, and I did a chapter on that. It's full of chapters about all the different people in my life, like my father, mother, people in the war, soldiers, Americans and British. It's really a story of the time. And
history, really, history.
Yeah, it's like a history book on what it was like to be a little child and grow up during the war.
Yeah. I know that you had a very good book launch recently.
Yes, it was very good.
A few weeks ago.
The Deputy British High Commissioner came to launch the book, and he said some really nice things about it, mostly that it's like a history. We don't know much about people in Australia or elsewhere, actually, of what it was like to be a little child, because my little sister came and she was only 7, and what it was like to be taken away and put with a family of strangers and trying to adapt to that life. So I think it shows all that.
Yeah, and I think he participated in a book launch as well.
Yes, he did. He had really nice words to say about it. He'd obviously read it right through and said people would get a view of what it was like during the war. We hear all about grown-ups and everything, but this is a child talking.
Yeah.
So I hope this goes well.
Yeah. So where people can buy your book?
Well, at the local bookstores.
Just ask the name of the book.
Yes, the name of the book
Corridors,
and the author.
Yeah, Corridors, verse Memoir, and the author Leila Marion.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you, Leila.
Thank you too.